All right, all right. Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Carlos, and thank you for tuning in to the Water Bear podcast. So we are right at the second half of the season. So we've had 5 episodes so far. So can't believe we're already on episode 6. So really excited to get into this show. If you have not already done so, make sure you join the family and subscribe. The more subscribers I get, the more I can put into this podcast and do some of the really cool ideas I have, but honestly take some money. So, hey, the more visibility I get, the more funds I can get to make this show even better. Also, you can catch the drip every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you're just tuning into the show and you're wondering what does catch the drip mean, basically catch the episodes. Water Bear podcast, since Aquarius, we are the water bearers or Aquarians. That's our other name of the zodiac. I just figured that would be a great way to kind of name this show and name this podcast. So now that we have that out of the way, I'm definitely really excited about tonight's show. So my guest, Runette Harris, she is really a great, I don't know, there's just so many great things I could say. I'm kind of a little tongue-tied before I even introduce her. But of course, you all know from the promos that she is a Scorpio. So she is definitely, in my opinion, I'd say she's a true Scorpio, which is a good thing. And we're going to get to that here in the show as well. We've been friends now for about, I'd say probably about 10 years. So it's been a long time. And we worked together in the corporate world. And even though I don't work at the same company anymore, we still have kept in touch over the years, and make sure we celebrate each other's birthdays. We've always been able to talk about anything. We've never lacked things to talk about in conversation. I mean, you name it. We just talked about all kind of stuff. The last time we talked, I think we were on the phone for probably about 3 hours. So we talked for a long time. So it was really great to catch up. But she is, like I said, she mentioned she's a Scorpio. She's very driven, and also she designs jewelry. So I'm not sure exactly how much she may want to dive into that here this evening, but I have on one of the Rue Allure pieces. So I have several pieces from Runette. So I thought, okay, this is perfect time for me to wear one tonight on the show. So before I introduce her, as always, I always kick off the show with a famous Aquarius and also a famous person of the guest sign as well. So a famous Aquarius is, if you all don't know, John Travolta is an Aquarius, and a famous Scorpio is Gabrielle Union, if you didn't know that. So, all right. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring in Runette. Hey. What's up, Runette?
Hey, friend.
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Awesome.
Thank you for having me this evening.
Oh, of course. Thank you for agreeing to do it. I was so glad. I was like, oh, I hope she says yes. I hope so.
I'm here for it.
Hey, I love it. Did I miss anything that you want to tell the listeners or the viewers that I may have missed in the intro, or anything about yourself? It could be anything. It doesn't matter.
Um, well, yeah, like the rural lure business. I do love jewelry. I do
Mhm.
love designing jewelry, and thank you for representing tonight with one of the
Hey,
rural
that's
lure
right. Of
pieces.
course.
So I really appreciate that. And but that's it. Maybe for the most part. I really right now am still working, in my business, and trying to grow the business. And
Mhm.
so we'll see what the future may continue to hold for Rule Lord.
Hey, well, I'm sure it's going to be amazing things, because I'm telling y'all, if y'all want to see the whole collection, I mean, this is just one of the things, and it's just amazing. I love it. Just the way I feel like your mind works and how you come up with things. never be able to be creative in that way, but it's just amazing to see. And
Awesome.
I have to tell you too, so I know that tonight is the 9th, but in a couple of days, there's a very special day that's coming up that you're part of that celebration, and that is for Veterans Day. So
Yes.
I definitely want to, take this time to tell you happy early Veterans Day, and for all the veterans out there, happy Veterans Day to you all too.
All right. Thank you very much.
Hey, of course, you're welcome. All right. Oh, and then if you don't mind telling us your birthday, I always have every person or every guest so that people get familiar and they don't mix it up, and they know, what date falls into which sign and all that.
I am a November 16th Scorpio.
Hey, okay, November 16th. So right around the corner next
Yes,
week.
next Thursday.
That's right, next Thursday. So okay, so I'll kick it off with that. So, and you kind of feel like you kind of led into that question that I have. November and October Scorpios, is there a difference you feel? And if so, what is that difference? Or what are the differences? Maybe there's more than one.
Well, I do believe that all of the horoscopes fall, within different quadrants, right? And
Hmm.
there is a
That's right.
significant difference, right? When an
Hmm.
October Scorpio versus a November Scorpio. Um,
Okay.
I think some of the, I'm sorry, October Scorpios, but I think some of the things,
Uh-oh.
here comes that truth and candor.
Hey, right. I love it.
um, some of the things I think that you may hear about Scorpios, like being really aggressive and things like that, probably are more so your October type
Mhm,
Scorpios
mhm.
than more so the November ones, and yeah, again, a little bit more intense, I would say, probably than us November ones, right? So
I would
that's
agree with that.
one of the main differences that I noticed, about us.
Right, right. Okay. Yeah, I would totally agree with that. I feel like the whole stereotype of the vengeful nature of or Scorpio, I feel like that fits more with the October ones.
Hmm. Hmm. Sorry,
Now, I mean,
Octobers.
not to say though, the November. I mean, no Scorpio will allow you to run over them. I ain't met one yet that'll do that. So,
Absolutely not.
yeah,
Absolutely not. I think that we, are tolerable, right? And we'll
yes,
take a lot, right?
hmm,
And whether it's the negative or positive, and pretty much you have to bring us into that space, right? So,
hmm.
but yeah.
Hey, I can see that. I can see that. So would you say? So I'm curious because I know one thing you and I both have in common is, and I know you mentioned this earlier, the different quadrants of the zodiac. So I'm a fixed sign, and you're a fixed sign as well. And for those that don't know, so I'm air sign, and then Renette would be a water sign. So, and this is just my opinion. So you can let me know. I'm curious to see what you think about this. So I feel like the most emotional signs of the zodiac, if I had to pick two, would be, and when I say emotional, I'll preface it by saying I don't mean crybaby necessarily. I don't mean that, but I'm just saying emotional in terms of I feel like these two signs, they're very in tune with their emotions, and
Hmm.
whatever they feel, and you're gonna go on that ride with them, whether you want to or not. You just
Hmm.
if you're close to them, you're just gonna have to go with it. And I feel like that's Pisces and Cancer. Um, Also water signs.
Uh-huh.
So I feel like since Scorpio is in that water sign family, but at the same time, I feel like Scorpio is the sign that really stands out of those three. And would you say that you feel like Scorpios are pretty emotional, or how do you think Scorpios handle emotion?
I think we are very emotional,
Okay.
passionate, you know.
Yes. Yes. Definitely passionate. I agree. Yeah.
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 Once you're in our camp, you're in our camp, right? We go hard
Hmm.
for you.
Yeah. Loyal. Yeah. Yeah. Loyal to the end. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And would you say so? Do you think? Would you agree with that? That Pisces and Cancer are the two most emotional signs, or two of the most emotional signs of the zodiac?
I would agree. I would agree. And they're supposed to be, the most compatible, with myself. And um,
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
mhm, mhm.
Huh.
And so any engagement, that I have with them, is always positive. And again, we can feed, off of each other's emotions. Again, probably, again, bringing us into this whole compatibility, right? Because
Right.
we
Hmm.
both feel it, right? Mhm.
Right. Right. Okay. So you said so basically the water signs attract, I guess you could say, in that way. But I know we've had conversations before, and I know you told me that there's something about Aquarius guys that you just can't get rid of. And it was so funny because I thought about you today when I posted the clip uh,
Mhm,
promoting the show today.
mhm,
One of my friends on TikTok, she responded, and she's an Aquarius, so they
mhm,
kind of have the opposite um, thing going on. But she said, "This is my husband to a T," and her husband is a Scorpio.
uh-huh.
So I have to ask you, what is it that you feel is about Aquarius is that maybe you just can't get away from, or you just keep, maybe finding yourself surrounded by Aquarius people?
They can't get away from me.
Hey, that's that. And from the conversations that we've had, I would say that's pretty accurate.
Yeah. They yeah, they just seem to, to come, to me. And I've always told you that I do love Aquarius. I do love being around,
Mhm.
Aquarians. And I think probably that honesty and truthfulness about us is maybe, some of the things that, drives you to us, right?
Mhm. I
So
agree.
friendships, yes. Relationship
Relationship,
in love,
not so much.
not so much.
so
I,
so why do you think that is, or what do you think that makes it great for friendships but not relationships?
well, I've heard you say and what brought you into the podcast, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
you were asked the question, you know, you know,
I set myself up.
you know, about how long it takes you, to get over it. Might what 5 days, I think you said, right?
Yep, that was the magic
Yeah,
number.
right. And then I've always told you I kind of find that, yeah, you took 5 days to go away, ponder it, think about it. And then when you come back and, kind of reveal to me, you know,
What
what
you've
you
been
come
thinking.
into. And I'm like, okay, and it took you 5 days to come up with that. Okay.
You know what? Hey, I'm guilty as charged. And I will say, as I don't know if it's an Aquarius thing or if it's just a me thing, but that is one of my biggest fears is being misunderstood.
Mhm,
So if I'm really close to you, and this is friend, relationship, whatever, um, I really don't want to be misunderstood. So I know I can't speak for all Aquarians, but I know for me, um, I try the 5 days is extreme in, but I try not to take all of that time. And part of that is because of what you just said, because sometimes by the time I get finished rationalizing it in my head, and it's like, okay, well, that was kind of simple, like, but it took a while for me to get to
I mean, we Scorpios, we come up with our A scenario, we come up with our B scenario, and we'll put a C on it if we have to, and we move on, right?
Yeah, and I
And
love that about Scorpios. I do.
yeah, because sometimes if you spend, again, too long, trying to ponder over, you overthought it. Um, you've just have focused on it like maybe way too long. I don't know what type of scenarios again that may cause you to take 5 days to come up with it, and why we couldn't get an A, B, and C sooner. But okay.
Here we are, right?
Here we are, right? And it's like, okay, yeah, well, I kind of figured that out, in one of my A, B, or C scenarios. But okay, so it took you that while, right? But I get it. If
Right.
you had to look at it from, multiple angles to get your answer, okay. But I also think about that when we talk about maybe being a person that worries a lot, right? I'm not a person that really worries a lot. Like I said, I, try to think about it A, B, and C, right? It's more likely going to fit into one of those, and then just kind of move on. And if it doesn't fit into the A, B, and C that I came up with, I got to be quick on my feet, right?
Yeah, and make a decision.
And right, and have a decision and have a solution, right? And again, that could be applicable if we kind of think about it, because if you in, your personal or career, right? In your career, really you have to make a decision. And as a leader, how long is it really going to take you to make the decision, right? So sometimes you just, got to be more on the fly with it. And I
That's
just
true.
happen to be on the fly,
Hey.
more often.
I will say I'm learning to take more of the Scorpio approach in my personal life, because I feel like when it comes to work, it's not, and maybe because I'm not connected to it like that, I can make a decision much easier and quicker because it's a work scenario, but it's something that personal life. I heard, and she's an Aquarius too. And it was so simple what she said, but I heard her say this in an interview, and it really stuck with me. Jennifer Lewis was promoting whatever the last book was that she came out with, and she said, "We're as sick as our secrets." And I don't know, that just really, and I know everybody has secrets, I get that, but and not even to me, I took it to mean more than just secrets. But like you just mentioned, the things that we ponder over, and you're over and over thinking about it, just mulling over it. And at the end of the day, it's just a decision. I mean, it's just either this or that. And that's right. Yeah. So I'm channeling my inner Scorpio. I'm trying to, at least.
Yeah, because again, you've tried to figure it out, right? And then you've decided that, again, from an Aquarian's perspective, that okay, I might handle this way or that way, right? And then when the situation actually comes to you, it's none of those scenarios, right?
Yeah.
That you sat and pondered, right? And now you don't have any more time to go away, and think about this.
Right.
All right, I'll leave you alone, Aquarian.
No, I love it. No, hey, no, you're right. That's a good point. So I'm curious. With that in mind, is there one sign that you run from? And this could be in general, or friendship, or relationship, or all encompassing. What is there a sign that you say, "Woof, I can't deal with them"?
Well, like I say, I could get along with I think all of the signs, right?
Hmm.
Um, because I know how to compromise, I know how to let you be, who you are, right?
Right. Hmm.
Um, so when it comes to friendships, right, there's not a sign that I would run from, right? But when it comes to love,
It's a different story.
it's a different story, right? And I believe that one would be like a Gemini, right?
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, because
I heard that a lot on this show.
yeah, because it's one of you that I'm going to love, and then it's that other you. It's like, yeah,
You can't deal with that other one.
no, no, and or I like they say that um, I could be, maybe compatible with a Taurus, but there's a lot of work that has to be done to
Oh,
get us in
yeah.
that space, right?
I could see that working, but it would have to be a special kind of Taurus to yeah. Yeah, because they don't back down, and Scorpios don't back down either.
Right, and all of that bullish behavior, it's not going to it's not going to go far.
Right, right. Okay, so you would say those two, like the Taurus and the Gemini.
Yes.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. And I know you mentioned uh the bullish ways of a Taurus. So that's every sign I feel like kind of has their stereotype, if you will. Um, but on the good side for Scorpio, if you had to pick one, what would you say is Scorpio's superpower or that thing that really draws people in about a Scorpio? And it can be more than one actually. If you have more than one.
Superpower. The eyes are the windows to the soul.
Mm, mm.
And as far as like myself, I know as a Scorpio, um, I've been guilty of just gazing, at people, right? And they'll say, "Why are you looking at me like that?" And I hadn't realized that I was gazing at them like that. But
Huh.
I believe that maybe if I'm in that trance, if you will, at
Okay.
that
Hey.
time, I'm not looking at the outer of you that's standing there before me. I am searching the depths of your soul, right? I
Oh.
am,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Hey.
right.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. I definitely think Scorpios have a very high intuition and almost this kind of like a hypnotic quality, if you will. Like yeah, I could see that. I could see.
Yeah, it can be intimidation or it can be intimacy, right? What space are we in?
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's funny you say that because I give you an example of somebody who I was like, this to me, how you look at somebody and it's like they really read like their sign.
Mhm.
Um, I was looking at, I don't know if you've ever watched the Terrell show, Terrell Grice, but he's doing he has a lot of musicians and he interviews them. It's kind of like pop culture and they play games and stuff like that. So anyway, this week he's been interviewing for his finale the members of Destiny's Child, pretty much all of them. So the original one, well, except Beyonce. but the original ones, as well as Michelle, the newer one. And Latavia, I don't know if you remember her, but she was one of the original members. And she just always, to me, like, even now to this day, when you see her, some people just try to be sexual or sexy or sensual, but she gives that, and it's not really an effort.
That natural aura.
Yeah, she has that natural and I had looked up something, and it's funny what made me look it up, because I was thinking about that. I was like, I wonder what her sign is. And before I looked it up, I thought to myself, I bet she's Scorpio, and boom, she's Scorpio. So yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense. I can totally see that. Okay. And so what would you say is your sign as a specialty drink? And it could be an existing drink, or it can be a drink that you make up, but something that when anybody drinks this, they would say, that's Scorpio right there.
Okay.
I love it. I'm ready.
I don't know. Maybe I would choose lemonade, right? Lemonade can be a base. It can be a drink by itself, right?
True.
As a base.
Yeah.
A plethora of flavors, can be mixed with it, right? And it's tart. It's sweet.
Okay.
Right. So a lot of Scorpios are seen in the tart and in the sweet. And then it can also be spiked, right?
Oh, okay.
And so you can, spike it with something light for a little fun.
Right.
Or you can spike it with something heavy for a lot of fun.
Hey, okay. I like that. So, okay, lemonade.
Yeah.
Hey.
It's an adaptable drink, much like we are, right?
Yes. Now I'm with you on that. A Scorpio is, I feel like, a very adaptable sign. Yeah, Scorpios. But, and as adaptable as Scorpio is, the interesting thing is, I feel like you're never going to have to know where they're coming from, because I'm telling y'all, so everybody that's listening and watching this, when Runette and I used to work together, she was in my head like the female Bernie Mac, because you know how like Bernie Mac would say, I say, what you scared to say? That was her. So anything that anybody was thinking, and maybe they were on the brink of saying it, or maybe they talked themselves off the ledge and was like, nah, I ain't gonna say that. No, you would just say it. And so that was really the first thing I think that drew me in, because I was like, wow, she's like, fearless. She just say, say whatever you feel. But at the same time, there was always a reason behind it. And you always did it with a purpose. Because I feel like sometimes people say things and it's just like, okay, well, what was the point of that? But you always have a reason for your words. Yes.
Yeah. I try to take time, before I speak in a lot of instances, right? Try to absorb, what just happened or what was just said, right? So again, a lot of time when we were working together, and like you said, you might have thought it or wanted to say it, and I might look at you and go, I got this, Carlos.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
And like pretty much that time, you remember they were trying to make a change, and it was just crazy what they was asking us to do, right? Yep. And I put a whole PowerPoint presentation together.
Literally, it was a whole presentation. It was.
Right. And you and the other peer, right? You just had to show up and be there, right? And our manager happened to be into darts, right? And they had all these different references about dart playing in the presentation. And at the end, I just told him the idea you trying to come up with sounds like you just throwing darts at the target.
Yeah, that was classic. You tied that in so well. It was like, okay, let me put this in your language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hope you understand this, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That, and it's funny because I think from me being friends with you, I think some of that eventually rubbed off on me because there was an instance, I know that we talked about this too, where I'm better at this now. I used to be kind of like this where I would hold stuff in and then I just blow. And then when I blow, it's like, there's no stopping it. And
Right.
that was kind of sort of one of those situations with one of the managers I had there. And she asked whatever she asked me. I mean, I just didn't like her tone and then the way she said it. And I just bit back at her before I knew it. And
There you go, Carlos.
yeah, right. And that's what I was about to say. You would always congratulate me every time I would do it. And she told me, it was months later, but she told me, she said, I gained so much respect for you that day, or so much more respect for you that day when you did that. She said, I didn't like it. And she said, I didn't like it for a long time, but I had to respect it because what you were saying was right.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You do garner, respect, right?
Right.
Again, just kind of, speaking up, for yourselves. And,
Mhm.
I also mentor, on the job. And so, we talk about whatever it is you got going on, and I'll send you back as a wolf, right?
Right. Like Mortal Kombat fight.
Right, right.
Right.
We got bullet points, let's talk
Yeah.
about it, right? And
Mhm.
again, because that's why I say I take time, maybe to absorb what was said, what is happening, right? And
Mhm.
here we go again. And I'm just, kind of thinking about it. And usually when I come back, I'm kind of like boom, 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 right? And there is kind of no denying, those bullet points that I brought to you, right?
Right.
So again,
Mhm.
those are the things that help, gain the respect, from those
Mhm.
types of people, right? So
That's true.
yeah, you can't be too meek out here.
And no. No, um it's all about, I think, especially in work situations, it's not, and it took me a long time to learn this. I knew what kind of person I was, but it wasn't about that. It was about the perception of how everybody thought I was.
Hmm.
And I feel like based on those perceptions that sometimes I didn't break, um, it probably held me back to some degree,
Hmm.
I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just not your go along and get along, right?
Hmm. Yeah. 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 And so it was that thing. And it's funny, you told me something, and I think you told me you heard this from I don't know her real name, but the florist from Floetry.
Hmm.
Um, and it's funny, this, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but this stuck with me for years. And you told me that this was kind of your motto. And I feel like you are definitely that person. And I think you told me you got it from one of her songs.
Uh-huh.
And you said, you'll be better for knowing me.
Yep, you'd be better off for having
No,
known me.
having known me. Yes, yes. And I feel like you totally embody that for sure. In all ways, like professional, personal, um, even I think about some of the health discussions that we've had and things that you told me to do
Hmm.
health wise that I
Hmm.
reached and pulled back, and it's like, oh, okay, well, this, end up helping me, you know, current day in that moment, and then even years later too. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
believe that's Natalie Stewart, right? One
Yes,
has.
that's her name. Natalie
Hmm.
Stewart. Yes.
Hmm.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, a lot of people are to Marsha Ambrosia, right? More
Uh-huh.
so. And Natalie Stewart is just, an understatement,
She is.
to what
Hmm.
she brought, to the two of them. Yeah.
Yeah, she really did. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I don't know if I've ever told you that, but I often think about that song in regards to you, or even um, how I try to be with other people. I try to think of that. It's like, okay, if I, were to walk out of this person's life, or whatever the case, or we part ways, would they be better off, or better for having known me?
Right. Right.
Hmm.
That's a
Yeah.
good place, to leave them, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Remember me.
Right. 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 Yes, you will remember me. Right. Yes. Yes, for sure. And so, and what about? I want to talk a little bit too about the creativity of a Scorpio, because I feel like creatively you hear a lot of signs thrown around, like I think, I know we talked about relationship, it might not be the best, but I've heard a lot of people say, Geminis are very creative. I've even heard some people say that about Aquarius. Aquarius is creative, but I feel like one sign that is underrated when it comes to creativity is a Scorpio, um, because I feel like a Scorpio brings passion to the table with anything. So you're gonna feel it even in whatever they do creatively.
It's just kind of a given. I mean, I guess that's just, again, a part of like who we are, just being, creative people. Um,
Hmm.
when you kind of, think back in the arts, um, there's a lot of, Scorpios, that are in
Yeah.
the arts,
Uh-huh.
right? And
That's true.
we just like, nice, pleasing, aesthetics of things.
Yes. Yes. Definitely. Yes, and it's always going to be. I feel like too with Scorpios is going to be something that's kind of avant-garde, or something that may be a new spin that we haven't seen before, or something like that too.
Hmm. Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a given. It's not, anything. I mean, I go and I practice, like skills, even with, jewelry. I'm, just across, different genres of it. If it's leather, it's wood, it's metals,
Mhm.
it's stones, just across, the spectrum of it. And then, so again, just the whole passion, and just, the love, for nice things. So.
Right. Right. I love it. I love it. And so I'm curious about this, because I know for me, so like for instance, today for work, I had 9 meetings today. Yeah. And I was just like, when I hit that log out, I mean, I just couldn't hit it fast enough. I was just ready to be done. So, but I have so much passion about doing this podcast that it was like I got a second win. I was like, okay, cool. I got to get ready, get set up. So it was easy for me to find passion for that. Not saying I don't have passion for my
Hmm.
job, I do, but it's
Hmm.
definitely a different level, different type of passion. So with Scorpios being such a passionate sign, where do you draw from to still have that passion for things that you might not really be that passionate about?
Mm. Sometimes we just have to show up and,
Mm-hmm.
you know, basically just mentally, put ourselves in that space. It's here, this is what's in front of me now. So, maybe in those instances, I'm just, trying to make the best of it, right? But there's
Mm-hmm.
nothing wrong, again, like you said, that you have more of a passion for your podcast and you much rather, have been doing that, right? That so again, that just, may comes from the focus of it all, right? So I don't
Right.
know if there's just like a certain place because there's, again, where I don't show passion for like 100% of everything,
Might be a good
if I had
85.
to be. No, and but again, yeah, so I don't know if it's a particular place that I, draw from with that.
Hmm.
Maybe just trying to make the best, of the moment, that I'm in with. So.
Right. Right. I can see that. Okay. All right. So if you I know we talked about, your the least favorite sign in relationship standards. Is there a sign that you would say is kind of the yin to your yang, so to speak, in any facet?
Maybe Cancer, right? If I really,
Okay.
about it, would be a Cancer, right? Because the love, um, genuine.
Hmm.
They also are
Hmm.
emotional, and passion, right?
Hmm.
So, um, our languages, are in harmony, and kind of
Right, with
speaking
each other.
together. Yeah,
I can see
yeah.
that. I can
Mhm.
see that. Yeah, for sure. I usually click pretty well with cancers and um, kind of like you on a friendship level, Geminis too. Never tried the date. It just never quite worked out for whatever reason on the dating front for Jim. Maybe because we're both air signs and we just, I don't know, maybe we both just floating away too much. I don't know what it is, but it just just
Maybe
doesn't
back
work.
to that emotion piece, right?
Yeah, that could be it. Yeah, yeah.
Could
Hmm.
be too much for you, back off, give me my space here, give me 5 days.
Right, right, right. But that's one thing I love about a Scorpio is that I feel like Scorpios are, even though they're passionate, they're not smothering. I've never met a Scorpio that's smothering to me, and maybe there are some out there that are that way.
I
But
know. You
huh?
go away and you read about Scorpio, they talk about, how intense we are, and
Yeah.
some signs like, oh
Hmm.
no, they're just too intense for me or whatever,
Right.
but um, I don't
Yeah.
think I'm that intense, but there might be some signs that think that I would be.
Right. Yeah. No, I feel like Scorpio. I feel like is a sign that allows everybody to be who and what they want to be.
Hmm. Hmm.
I feel, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah,
do compromising,
yeah.
being adaptable,
Hmm.
I'm with it,
Right, right.
you know, but I would just say now when you're gonna tell me maybe what I'm gonna do,
Yeah, that's where we just went wrong.
yeah, yeah, hold up.
Yeah. That's when those the scorpion tails come out.
Yeah, the stingers. Yeah,
The stingers,
yeah,
yes, yes. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You just can't
Yeah,
tell
I'm with
me
you on that.
what it's going to do, And I give an example again, maybe back in the workspace, right? They
Mhm.
like to do surveys, right? Organizational health surveys. And
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
like, surveys,
Yeah,
And
I don't really
so
either.
the senior director was like, I want 100% participation. Now, this is a voluntary, survey to be completed, right?
Right.
And so my manager decided to ask us, in the team, um, have you guys completed the survey? And so one person just voluntarily said, oh, I have. So then I guess he decided, well, let me go around the room and ask, have you completed yours, right? And so he got to me and I said, I don't like surveys, right? And he says, I don't either, but I went in and I, completed it anyway. And she's looking for 100% completion. And I just looked at him and said, and it's voluntary, right?
You're like,
Well,
guess it's about to be 99.99 today.
you're not going to make me fill out that survey. And it's
Right.
voluntary. Right now, we had
Yeah.
mandatory, trainings we have to do or whatever, then of course. But when
Right.
it's voluntary like that, and you're telling me you want 100% participation, and I'm telling you that's something that I'm not into, right? And so he said to me, I could tell by the look on your face. And I said, well, what look was that?
Right. What was it?
Yeah. What did you read? Because I know
Right,
what I
right.
was thinking, but what did you read?
I'll tell you if you're right or wrong. Right.
Right. And but to be appeasing, what I did was I just clicked through it. I didn't read the questions or nothing, right? I just
Yeah.
clicked through it. You want a 100%, this is gonna, be how, you get your 100%. I just clicked through it, right?
Mhm.
And so he came back all, she was all excited. She got the 100% or whatever. And he sent me that at I am, and I sent him back one of those green face emojis, like,
What did he say?
he didn't say anything, but when we talked about earlier, like respect, even
Mhm.
he had to say, I respect you for taking a stance on something. If you didn't want to do it, you just didn't want to do it, right?
Yeah.
And I think that you maybe remember how with the United Way thing.
So in my head, in the back of my head, that's what I was playing as you were talking.
Yeah, and they just kind of, force you. And it's like, well, you don't have to, donate, just go out there and click the link. I was like, but I don't want to click the link. What part do you
Mhm.
not understand when I say I don't want to participate? I don't want to participate, right? And
Right.
then, so if you did go out and click the link or donate or whatever, they would come by, and hang a balloon, on
Yeah,
your
little
cubicle or
sticker or
whatever.
something. Right.
Right. And I don't know if you were there that year that I just went ahead and put up my birthday balloon so I can have balloons flying like anybody else.
I do remember that. And what made it even funnier is I don't think that you told me you were going to do it. So I was just as surprised as everybody else. And then when I saw it, oh, it was the most hilarious thing ever. I was like, hey, that's it right there.
Like I got a balloon too, right?
Right, right. My own
And so
personal
finally,
celebration.
after a period of time over the years, they kind of figured it out, right?
Mhm.
That you really can go behind the scenes and take this person's name out so it won't interfere with your metrics,
Mhm.
right? And
Right.
so that's what they started to do every year was go behind the scenes and remove my name because you're just not going to make
Make
me
you do it.
do it, right?
Mhm.
You're not.
And I think too, the thing that gets on my nerves with that in the corporate setting is I feel like people would, and not saying that you would have complied if they came and said this, but um, people would be more apt to do it if you just go ahead and tell the truth or the real reason why. Because a lot of the times they're getting a bonus based off of the participation. So just go ahead and say, hey, I'm trying to get this check. Then hey, okay, I might go ahead, okay, whatever, because you were so honest.
No,
But
I'm still not going to comply.
right, right. You're still not going. That's why I
No,
prefaced it. I said, maybe.
no. You're going to jump up at the bank when I push my employees harder than you push your employees.
Right. Yeah, I figured it would still be a no, but maybe
Yeah.
a little bit more respected that they were honest.
No.
But
No.
okay, so we got a couple comments, so I want to make sure that we flash these up. So Durant Cersei, who's been on the show, he was on last season. He's a Leo. He says Scorpios are not intense; they are just mean and surly. Oh my God, not mean and surly. You know what? I've never, and I pray that I never do, but I've never personally witnessed, or not witnessed, I've never personally experienced the wrath of a Scorpio. Now, I've witnessed it a lot, but even when I witnessed it, in my head, I'd be like, okay, well, you shouldn't have did what you did to do with that.
How did we get here? Right? Let's
Right.
talk about how we got here. That you want to call me mean and surly, Durant.
So yeah, I feel like in most situations, the ones that I've been on the sideline of with a Scorpio, I'd be like, hey, well, you can, they kind of had it coming.
Because we'll take a lot. We'll take a lot.
Yeah, you will.
But if you
will.
keep pressing and
You
you
will.
keep pushing, then yeah, you just made me what you will call mean and surly. Okay. But let's talk about all the pushing you did to me that I absorbed before we got here.
And I'll say that is a trait that I feel like is across the board for all of the water signs. I feel like Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, all of y'all are able to just really have broad shoulders in that way, where you can take a lot of pressure, take a lot of things, but woo, when y'all get tired of carrying that thing, it's like you better run.
Right. And we can say it to you real sweet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can be real
because
sweet.
Pisces got that one down. You get home, you'd be like, wait, did they just say I was? Yeah.
Yeah, I've been in a couple instances again, right, where again something is being said to me, right, and they're just going on, and it's like, don't just stand there, say something, and I'm like, one, just trying to configure in my mind what just happened, what was just said, and formulating how I'm about to respond to this. So if I'm quiet at that moment, then yeah, allow me to be quiet, because you really don't want to,
Yes.
hear, what may be coming next, right? So yeah,
yeah. I'm real big on don't poke the bear. Because I'm that way. I'm that way. Like if I say you don't want me to talk right now, just let it be. So I try to give people, in most cases. Now it is sometimes, depending on how I'm feeling, might be a little extra, spicy that day. I might kind of push the button too. But for the most part, if somebody tells me they need their time, or you don't want me to say what I'm really thinking, I'm like, oh, all right, okay, I'll let you.
Yeah. I've been guilty of plenty times of them saying, can you believe she just said that?
I think I might have been sitting next to you a few of those times. Oh my God. Yeah.
I mean, I've just taken A, B, C, D, E, and F from you, right? And now when I finally speak, oh my gosh, did she just say that? Yeah, I said it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I did. And now, you want to call me to the carpet for what I said. And now I got to, bring out my Louis Vuitton attaché case, that's got my notebook in it, and
yeah, that's when you
got
pull
all of
that
my
out,
points.
that's when you mean business.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about it, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want that. Yes, if a Scorpio says we're not going to talk about it right now, don't talk about it right now, because it's probably not going to go the way that you wanted to go?
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
not. Yeah. So we got another comment here from the Mind Chop podcast. So in case y'all have not checked out their podcast, they have some episodes there for you to view. So make sure you check that out too and subscribe. They were also guests on the show last season. So I'm not sure if this is Mike or Ashley because they both make up the Mind Chop podcast. But thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate it. And so they said, love y'all's energy. So thank you so much.
Awesome. I'll go check them out. Hey, my chop.
Hey. Yeah, they have some really great episodes out there about kind of chopping down the stereotypes. Oh, she says it's Ashley. Hey, what's up, Ashley?
Hey, Ashley.
Chopping down. Hey. Chopping down the stereotypes of so it's a lot of Leo energy here in the comments because Ashley is a Leo and Durant is a Leo too. So yeah, they have this show that basically talks about, you know, chopping down things like, you know, bad habits or procrastination, things like that. And then Ashley, I think y'all would probably hit it off really well because Ashley also is into crafts and she makes body butters and oils and all kind of stuff. So yeah, she's really, really dope.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yes. And then Durant came back. He says, no other sign has made me so angry that I wanted to fight. Scorpios are at the top in all caps of my prayer list.
Yeah, somehow, sometimes we can pull out the worst in the people.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, I've never, I don't know what it is, but I've just never had that experience because either we never had that type of relationship, whoever the Scorpio was, or I never pushed a button in that way. So I just be like, hey, you know, I want to.
Yeah, more than anything, you just didn't, you know, push that button. But sounds like Durant, you know, likes to press those buttons. So
yeah, might have pushed a button or two.
Yeah.
Oh, this is great. I love it. Okay, so we're pretty much almost at the end, but before we end, there is a game that I play with everybody that I definitely want to play with you too, and it's called Dead in the Water.
All right.
And how it works is I'll give you 5 this or that choices. So I feel like you're going to be firing these away because you don't ponder too long. So it's going to be like boom, boom, boom. Next. So I feel like this is about to be a speed round game here. So
okay,
I'll give you these.
I'll try to slow it down.
No, you answer it however you want. No, you're good. And instead of telling me the thing that you like the best, you'll tell me the one that you would throw back in the water. So basically, you'll tell me the one that's your least favorite of the two.
Okay.
Cool. So yes, we will. And it's different questions. I try to tailor it to each of the guests. So some of it is based on things that I know that you like or might be special to you. Head in the water, and the first one I have for you is deviled eggs or potato salad. Which one are you throwing back in the water?
Potato salad.
Yeah, let me tell you. Okay, I was hoping you would say that because I had a segue after that. So I'm gonna preface this and say I don't even really like deviled eggs. But your deviled eggs, oh, they are so bomb. I still remember them, and they had the shrimp in them, and
yeah, kind of like that lemonade. We can do a lot of different things with the deviled eggs, you know. Yeah.
So deviled eggs, we throwing the potato salad away, and that white chicken chili too. I still remember that.
Yeah, I still owe you another bowl.
Hey. Yeah, that was hidden. I definitely remember that. All right. So the next one is twists or locks. Which one would you throw away?
Locks.
Okay. Okay. And why is that?
Too permanent for me. Right.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too
You can't-
permanent.
Yeah, once that's done, it's done. You can't really.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can still do a lot, with my twist, make them look like a lock if I need to.
Right. Yeah.
Untwist them, it's just a lot, which you can do a lot with locks too, right? I get it. But again, you are just locked in, to your hair being fused,
Right.
together.
That's true. That makes sense. Okay. All right. So the next one is between these two TV shows, Martin or Living Single, which one would you get rid of?
Ooh. See, you made me stop and think.
Oh, I was like, hey, this is a good one. If I got you to pause a little bit.
Oh, yeah, that one's a little tough there. I would say Living Single.
That would be my answer too. I love Living Single, but Martin, to this day, I could be at home by myself. And some of those episodes, if it come on TV right now, I'll be laughing and you'll think it's a house full of people in here.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I would say, Living Single too.
Yeah.
And so this next one, I'm really curious to see what you'll say. So if you have to throw away, and I would say this is with when it comes to offenses, forgiving or forgetting, which one can you do without, or would you throw away?
See, a Scorpio, we'll forgive, but we won't forget, right?
Yeah, I know. I read up on it. That's one of y'all.
Ooh, that was another good one, Carlos.
Hey, if I got 2 out of the 5 so far, I can get applause. That's good.
Yeah. Which would I throw back? I'll throw back forget.
Okay, and you'll keep the forgive. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But quietly, I'm still might not forget.
Right. So the forget got his toe in the water, but you didn't throw it all the way in the water.
No, it didn't sink. It didn't sink.
You
It's
can reach
floating.
back down and pick it up.
Yeah, it's just floating.
It's just floating. Okay.
Yeah.
The forget got a life jacket on it.
Yeah, because I might be handling you now based upon, what it was that put me in the situation, right? To forgive or forget, right? So now you being, our whole, maybe relationship is kind of, just, based on that,
Okay. Hey, I feel that.
Yeah.
All right. The last one, we kind of talked about them a little bit earlier tonight. Janae or Floetry? If you had to throw one away, who would
Janae.
it be? Yeah. I figured I thought that was going to be a quick one. Yeah, I like Janae, but they only had, was it 2 albums they had? Maybe it was just one. I don't know. But they had some good songs.
And did they do any independent,
No.
themselves?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. Yeah, because I'm with you on that. Like, I can rock with Floetry as a unit and them separately too. Yeah. So I would definitely say, Floetry. Yeah. I mean, Janae, keep Floetry.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So we've come to the end of the show, but is there anything before we close out that, anything else you want to add, or maybe words of advice for handling Scorpios, or anything like that.
Just be honest, be transparent, and just be who you are, you know. Mm-hmm. And let me accept you and deal with you, you know, just on, you know, those standards of you alone, right? Don't, right. You know, mm-hmm. come with the facade, right? Because again, we're going to see right through it, right? Mm-hmm. And then also, what is the reason, you know, for the facade, you know? So just show up as you, right?
That's you. Yeah. I love that. Okay. Hey, that's dope. That's dope. Well, thank you again, Runette, for coming on and for gracing us with your presence tonight. I really, really appreciate it, for repping Scorpio. You actually have made history on the show tonight too, because you're the first female Scorpio that I've had on the show. I've had one male last season, but you're the first female.
Hi.
Hey, yes, that's what's up. So yeah, it's a lot of firsts.
Well, well, this was fun, Carlos, and thank you, you know, for the opportunity, you know, to do this podcast with you. All right, friends. So we're going to be seeing each other soon.
Yes, because we got to celebrate for your birthday. Yes.
Yeah, and we got some catching up to do that we can't do here on the podcast.
Oh, yeah, right. Some real truth and candor, huh?
Right. If only they knew about that joke that we had, right? The truth and the candor, right?
Yeah, so there is we won't go into it, but I would say that this episode is titled With Truth and Candor. And there's a reason why I titled it that, because I'll just say it's an inside joke, but that word candor has taken on a whole new meaning now. Ooh, yeah, it has. So yes, I appreciate you for coming on again, Runette, and make sure, again, if y'all are watching, if you like what you see, what you hear, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell too, so that you're notified anytime new episodes come up or there's new shorts or anything like that. Next week, I'm going to have a female Capricorn on the show. So all of my Capricorns, make sure y'all tune in. Y'all season is kind of around the corner here too. So make sure y'all tune into that. And yeah, that's a wrap. So thanks everybody for watching, and thanks again, Runette.
Thank you. Have a great night.
You're welcome. All right, you too.
Bye.
Bye.